If you don't want many people knowing about your sexual orientation or gender identity, make sure you trust that person you're coming out to. And that's why it's important to set boundaries. Some boundaries you can set are like just telling them, hey, I don't want anyone else knowing about this. Like I just told you. Make sure you tell that person that you only told them, or explain that you told some other people, but that you don't want them telling anyone else. And that's in order to not be outed. You can ask other LGBTQ plus members for their advice. That's a good person to come out to first if you know anyone who's a part of the community, because they can help you with the coming out process. And most importantly, you set the tone. It can be casual, big, it's whatever you want it to be. No one can tell you how to come out. It's all about what you want to do. And what to do if someone outs you. There is a risk of being outed if you do come out to someone. So it's important that you talk to someone who you trust. You have a really great support system at the school, your guidance counselors, you can always go to. You can go to Caitlin and I. Just make sure you go to a trusted adult, or just someone like a trusted friend. Anything like that is fine, whoever you're comfortable with telling. And if it's possible or safe, which I know most of the time it's not, you should talk to the person who outed you and explain the dangers of their actions, because sometimes people don't realize when they out you that they're actually outing you. They might, like I said before, that's why you set boundaries, because they might not know that other people don't know. So there's a risk of being outed there. This is one that can take a lot of strength, but if you want to come out again, take control of the situation that was kind of taken away from you, because sometimes when you are outed, you feel like you lost that power and that pride in your sexual or gender identity. So you can come out again and take control of the situation. Remember, you're not alone. Like I said before, you have a really great support system here, and there are always like friends or family members that are always going to be there for you. So don't feel like you're alone when you're outed. And lastly, but most importantly, finding a coping mechanism. I know it sounds silly, but like coloring or meditating, anything like that can help you along with that process if you are outed.
When you're going through the process of coming out, it feels really lonely and it feels really painful.
Coming out for me was very much saying, this is who I am and I'm happy to be who I am.
Coming out is claiming your identity.
Coming out is just a process that continues throughout your whole life.
I identify myself as gay,
homosexual, queer,
non-gender conforming, lesbian,
trans, gay,
bisexual, queer, femme.
Coming out was incredibly confusing and shameful.
I came out as trans when I was 27.
I was kind of in denial myself.
For me, I was very adamant that it wasn't going to be a big deal.
I think everybody assumed I was gay anyway.
My mom took me to lunch and just like straight out asked me like, have you considered the fact that maybe you're gay? And I was like, gosh damn it, you beat me to it.
I was too worried about what everybody else thought, especially my parents. I didn't want to disappoint.
Like, why do we have to come out and heterosexual people don't have to come out?
It comes from a place of having to, or wanting to protect myself.
It doesn't wear well on you mentally.
We're not born the problem, it's society that makes us the problem.
There are a lot of assumptions made about you once people know your sexuality.
A high percentage of people who experience mental health difficulties are queer. For as much as that looks like a number, this is like thousands of us, like just, not really having access to the kinds of support that we need.
I wish people understood that actually for a lot of queer people, it's not just something that we want to do, it feels like a matter of life or death.
When I was growing up, there was no one on TV that looked like me.
All my life, I knew that I had these massive secrets that I was hiding, but back then, transgender wasn't even something that was talked about.
I think it probably took until even maybe potentially after I'd come out to my family that I met real life gay people.
I thought that I had to be like really, really masculine or alternatively really, really feminine to almost make being gay okay, you know, to justify being gay.
Telling yourself, oh, I'm different, I'm queer, is very, very important.
You can be different, and you can be a person of color, and you can be queer, and you can be weird, and you can still be an amazing person.
I'm so proud. I feel so lucky to be part of this incredible community.
The LGBTQ plus community has had a lot of hate, and I think people in our community are just so impressive, whether they're out or not.
I'm going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of what to say to someone when they come out to you. First, I'm going to be talking about the don'ts. The first two go hand in hand. You are so young, you haven't had enough life experiences, and this is a phase you're just confused. The problem with these two, and this isn't the case for everyone, but for some people, their sexual orientation is something that they've been certain about for their entire life. And if someone is coming out to you, this is most likely something they've been thinking about for a very long time. And this response can be very harmful to the mental well-being of that individual. And the third one, say I'm coming out as bisexual to one of my female friends. And in response to me coming out to her, she says, well, since you like girls, do you have a crush on me? And just because I'm attracted to the same sex and also friends with the same sex doesn't mean that I like that person. And the next one is one that comes up a lot. I've received this comment a lot. It's, I don't support your lifestyle and choices. And being gay or transgender or bisexual, whatever you are, it isn't a choice. You don't just wake up one morning and decide that that's what you're going to be. It's something that you're born with. So that is a very harmful comment. And the next one is, I already knew that you were part of the LGBTQ plus community. This comment implies that it was obvious that that person is part of the community, and that's not really a nice assumption to make. And the next one is, I don't want your life to be more difficult than it already is. Your life would be more difficult by suppressing it. So that one isn't a super nice comment to make. And the last one is, don't assume that other people already know, because this can risk outing the person, and outing can be very harmful to that person's mental health. Next, I'm going to be talking about the do's. I love and support you no matter who you love or how you identify. Thank you for sharing that with me, and I'm glad that you feel comfortable telling me. Basically, just communicate with that person that you love and support them regardless of who they love or how they identify. And next, treat them the same. Treating them the same is so important because the individual coming out to you is the same person they've always been. They just decided to share this aspect of their life with you. And the next one is, if you're curious, ask questions, but make sure they're respectful and don't cross any boundaries. And just listen to what they have to say. Make sure that they know you are there for them and they're supporting them, and you're always going to be there to listen to them if they have any problems.
This is a sign that has been given to us, and we're going to make it available to all staff members to display to signify that their room is a safe space and that they're open to being a trusted adult. It might not be displayed in every room, and that's okay. It's just going to let students know where a safe space in the building is, and it will be displayed in all through guidance as well.
Without further ado, accidentally gave away our little surprise guest speaker for our presentation. But Mayor Sciortino, thank you for joining us. We'd love to hear some of your thoughts and experiences about our coming out presentation today.
Thanks for having me. I really genuinely enjoy this. It's such a different world from when I was that age. First of all, I want to thank the advisors and the teachers for the support you show. When I was in high school, this wasn't even conceived. We did not have support groups or anything like that. And that might be why it took me so long to come out. I wasn't until college that I even started to feel comfortable enough. So thank you for what you do. For the students who don't know, I was elected last year, and I'm Bordentown City's first openly LGBTQ elected official in more than 300 and some years, I guess you could say. But it's been a great honor because it helped me get to know so many people in the community that I wasn't aware of. Very encouraged by the fact that we have so many young trans people in our community. It's encouraging because it tells me feel comfortable coming out in this community, which means so much, especially when you look across the country at what a lot of LGBTQ youth, trans in particular, are facing right now. There's a big movement to strip their rights, marginalize them, make them feel less than other. And so I want you guys to know that your community has your back. We are there for you. You will always find support in me. Personally, I can assure you of that. I know a lot of our other elected leaders. I work for the governor's administration. I've never seen a more supportive administration, whether it's introducing LGBTQ curriculum or hosting. Last year, they hosted all local elected LGBTQ officials at the governor's mansion for a Pride celebration. So it's things like that that I want you guys to realize, especially as you get a little older and you're out there working in the community, that New Jersey is very supportive in general. And if you feel like you don't have the support, I would say lean on your advisors. They're a tremendous asset. Lean on your friends. Like Ms. Leusner said, every situation is unique. Every experience is personal. And I've always found it was crucial to have a support network there, because I had a difficult time with my family when I came out to them. But knowing I had friends and colleagues who were supportive made all the difference in the world. Because more often than not, they will come around. It's just going to take time. And it's important that you have people you feel like have your back in the meantime to help you go through this process and make you feel loved and appreciated. So I would say keep doing what you're doing. You guys are a real inspiration. I'm in awe of you every time I meet with you and see how comfortable you are in your own skin and being who you are. And we're here if you need anything.